Welcome to the Steve Reeve Podcast with the best moments from the past week and a few things that didn't make it to air. Powered by Coldwell Banker Ford McMurray. We love YMM. Tuesday.
Do you think you'd be more successful without your kids? Maybe don't answer while they're in the room, or do if you don't care. But Michael Buble, you know him, you love him. He sells us beverages, bubbly beverages. He had what I think is a public therapy session in an interview just recently, saying that he absolutely would be more successful if he didn't make a choice to put the time in and focus with his kids, with his family. He says, you can't do both successfully. Well, he and his wife did just have their fourth kid last month, so, it might have been easier to do both successfully if the kids didn't outnumber the parents. Just saying. But also, I have to say, I don't have any kids. And not having any kids and still not being a fraction as successful as Michael Buble really makes my entire opinion kind of moot here. 4 kids and 4 Grammys. I'm just saying. It's pretty successful. How do you feel, though? Would you have a crazy successful life without your kids? Is there a little bit of that healthy amount of resentment or a lot of it? Let me know. And again, maybe when they're not in the room, or you'll be paying for the therapy session later. Of course, on the weekend, Saturday specifically, was the first of the 2 tribute concerts for Taylor Hawkins. This one from Wembley Stadium in London. The second one at the end of September from LA, of course, with huge guests. A lot of the same ones will be repeating, but not everybody. Kind of a different animal, different show. And it was available to stream live and watch for free via the MTV YouTube channel. Now it has been put behind the Paramount Plus paywall, soon to show up on the streaming service. But clips have shown up, and MTV still has a clip of young Shane Hawkins jumping on the drum set to help out with Foo Fighters' rendition of My Hero. This is what that sounded like. #1 trending on YouTube right now. Shocker.
You gotta sing with us, hey!
Pretty cool. Ultimately tragic and sad, but pretty cool. A full circle moment with young Shane Hawkins on the drums right there.
You're listening to the Steve Reeve Podcast from 100.5 Cruise FM.
Missed it for the Game of Thrones prequel. The Family of Fire, the Rings of Dragons, the whatever. I don't know. Haven't gotten to it yet. I plan to. I promised I would over the long weekend, and then it just didn't happen. Because instead, I put on like 2 seconds of the Amazon Lord of the Rings show, Rings of Power, and was blown away. Holy cow. I sat transfixed by the first 2 episodes, sitting down for one, and it ended up being both, of course, on Amazon Prime. Boy, it just looks expensive. You know when you just see something and you go, holy cow, that's more than I can afford. That's more than I can even imagine. That's what looking at this entire TV show is like. Every single shot. And like with attention to detail, too, not just spectacle. So far, it's more than that. The characters have been, for the most part, fascinating. Couple of, weak links in the chain, but whatever. Not a lot of rings so far either, but I assume that will come in due time, right? It's in the title. They'll get there eventually. And if it's this pretty and this interesting every Friday, yeah, I'm down. Game of Thrones, though, we'll get to it eventually.
Wednesday.
Have you ever met your doppelganger in real life, maybe even on the internet? There's a funny story that got picked up because of a Reddit post where people were just enthralled, adding comments galore. A man found his doppelganger while swimming in a Las Vegas pool. And the photo is, it's pretty stark. Not only do they look the same, they're also wearing the exact same glasses and pretty much the exact same hat at the exact same time. And stranger things have happened, but it's amusing nonetheless. And what's so weird about this scenario, what is absolutely bizarre, is that simultaneously, at the exact same point in time, another dude found his distant, unrelated doppelganger in the very same pool. How crazy is that, right? Because they met each other, they found each other, you get it? And maybe it isn't that crazy of an event, though, honestly, because as one Reddit comment points out, there are 3 of this guy at every single brewery, so the simulation is real, confirmed. Cruising around the world with the one that they love, a pair of hikers naked hikers traveling the world by selling nudes. Okay, well, I don't think they're always naked. You know what I mean? That is uncomfortable. The bugs, the weather, the exposure, no. But they do get naked, they take photos, they post them to a fan base on the internet saying they live off of about $8 a day, earning $400 a month from their subscribership, which is actually closer to about $13 a day. So what's going on here? Well, something you or I could probably never do, admittedly. So good for them. Honestly, good for them. If they're making bank and traveling the world, awesome. They've got a plan to do it for 9 more years. They say they're on a 10-year honeymoon, and they've gotten 1 year into it. Well, I say don't count the chickens, right? But good plan. Good plan. I just feel like selling nudes for a living should probably earn you more money. Poor things can't even afford clothes. Let's dive into some music news headlines. Nickelback at the top of it, because they've got some new music on the way. They said, we've missed the fans and look forward to bringing some new songs to life on stage. So new album coming out called Get Rolling, and a new single actually released today called San Quentin. The album, 10th studio album, is going to be out November 18th, but you don't have to wait for the actual single.
Let's get this circus on down the road. We're taking bets up out of tank and gas will go.
San Quentin, the title of that one. Moving on to Brian Eno, who's also putting out some brand new music. He's got a single out as of today called We Let It In, and this is going to be coming from a new EP that's happening, as well as a live event that's tying into it called Space Music. And this full project is going to be releasing on October 14th. But discussing this record, Eno's is saying that his voice has changed, it's lowered, and it has become a different personality that he can sing from. But he's also adding different voices into the soundscapes of this project, more so than he has in the past, saying he wanted to explore a world that actually has humans in it this time.
Hey Alexa, play the Steve Reeve podcast.
Sometimes when the mood strikes, it is right here, right now. But when you have a minute to think about it, when you have a moment to prepare, perhaps some musical accompaniment might help the scenario, help the mood. Well, my significant other and I have been laughing for days now because of a Reddit post. You might have seen this or seen people talking about it, in which somebody was talking about a playlist, a sexy playlist they put together that they've been using without fail every time for 2 years straight. And amongst the songs on this playlist, the poster's favorite and the poster's girlfriend's least favorite is the most unsexy song you can think of. It's all over TikTok right now. It is bizarre. I have no idea how anybody could get down to it, and that's how the internet is kind of collectively feeling. So, that brings me to my question for the day. The topic this morning, if that's a terrible song for making sweet, sweet music to, what's a great song then? What is a song that absolutely gets you in the mood? Works every time. 60% of the time, it works every time, right? What is it that absolutely works in every single case for you? You gotta let me know. We're getting focused up on it today.
Oh, come on, Jen. I need your mind on the job, not thinking about sexy sex all the time.
Sexy, sexy songs making an appearance in the bedroom. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. So that is the topic of the morning, all inspired by a song that, frankly, is a terrible choice. Go check out the Reddit story about the sex song that is a terrible sex song. I'm just saying. Read the story first, then listen to the music, because it's going to hit you all the more. But flipping it, instead of a terrible song, what are great songs to have on your playlist? Already getting lots of input. Lots of input. I'm writing the notes down. Oh yeah, that's a great song too. But you can too. Check out the comment section. Corinne saying Lionel Richie, hello. To that I say, oh hey, how's it going? Jennifer says the song Let's Get It On, Marvin Gaye, coming in clutch. She also says the one, leave your hat on. You can leave your hat on. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the title. I think you got it right. Carla Ray says her husband knows what music gets her in the mood. So whenever he puts on Lana Del Rey, I know what's going down. Trina says there's playlists on the internet we love. And finally, I think appropriately, Ryan Anderson coming in with the ultimate selection for any playlist of any music for making sweet music to. I'm talking about Flight of the Conchords. It's business time.
It's business time.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Thursday.
The more I think about it, about this full-time house sitting, the more I think that this is actually a great setup for a horror movie. I mean, think about it. You don't even need to think about it. You can already picture it, can't you? Can't you? That happy, carefree first 15 minutes where the couple arrives at the mansion they're going to house sit for the next week, and that it is just too good to be true, right? Beautiful grounds, beautiful sights. They get a tour of the estate from a beautiful young groundskeeper. Just never go inside the 150-year-old original house on the property or any of the caves, and never utter the words "what could go wrong" anywhere near this place. Right? Right? I would watch that movie. I would watch that movie in a heartbeat. In fact, I'd find that more believable than the real-life story about the couple spending $0 and house-sitting all year long across the United States. Yeah, I'd believe that there would be something horrific happening before that idyllic story actually takes place. Reading about this Monopoly champion, like the world Monopoly champion, and he's got some tips, some advice, some strategies for winning the game. The man's name is Niccolo Falcone. He is from Venice, and he is also a lawyer. It's not like he does just this in the world, but impressive man. I wouldn't want to play him. He would beat my butt. He's won like thousands and thousands of dollars playing Monopoly, which I didn't know was a thing. Of course it is. If you can compete with it, you can make money off of it somehow. But the game of Monopoly, let's be clear, does not need tips. The game of Monopoly does not need winning strategies. It needs a game timer. Whoever hoards the most money and property from the huddled masses as they shiver and sneeze after a 2-hour max period wins. End of story, end of list. And everyone holds their hands in the air and walks away and doesn't speak for the rest of the night, right? Okay, maybe not that extreme, but still, a timer is what this game needs more than anything.
Thanks for listening to the Steve Reeve Podcast from 100.5 Cruise FM.
Stuart Copeland admitting what all of us did when we saw Shane Hawkins, Taylor Hawkins' son, drumming along to My Hero during the tribute show over the weekend. Stuart Copeland, of course, a former drummer with the Police. He says he started crying when Shane started playing My Hero. Stuart, we all did. It was rough, but beautiful, but absolutely beautiful. As well, Bruce Springsteen in true Bruce Springsteen form. He's going to be joining the stand-up comedians at the Stand Up for Heroes benefit in New York. It's the 16th annual event, though he hasn't taken place in every single one of them, but he is a fixture. He's going to be alongside some other musical acts, though mostly comedians, of course. Other musical acts including the Lumineers and more. Tickets on sale now. Of course, a little far away, though. A little bit far. Paul McCartney, Rolling Stones, Slash, and a whole lot more are getting together to help out the victims of war in Ukraine by auctioning off some seriously sweet guitars. Gibson guitars specifically, and some that are featuring the Ukrainian flag colors, yellow and blue, that they have been playing at live shows over the summer. So they are stage used and therefore so much more valuable. They have crafted limited runs of these 4 different guitars for peace, and with autographs and more coming from all of these different artists, available by auction in the very, very near future. It's going to be expensive. Joining me here in studio, always such a treat to have people live and talking to me face to face. We've got some representatives from the Northern Lights Health Foundation. Stephanie, Donor Relations Officer, as well as Lorna, Director of Development. How are you guys doing?
Doing great this morning, Steve.
Fantastic.
Yes, and you're getting ready for another big event that I've taken part in before. It is a lot of fun. It's a unique event in town. It's nothing quite like it. The hospital bed races. They're back.
They are, and they are better than ever. It's going to be happening on September 24th, and there's going to be about 15 teams down there so far racing. We're hoping for more. You know, everyone's going to be dressed up in all their costumes.
The costumes, that's right. So you guys are encouraging teams to dress up like kind of in a unified theme together, or just their corporate gear if that's what they prefer to do. I know that some of the winning teams every year like to do that, looking fly in their black sports shirts. Not naming any names, but they're going to be there to win. There's still room, you said. People can still get involved.
Yes, people can definitely still get involved, whether they want to register a team or they want to come down and volunteer. You can do that by going to our website at give2nlhf.ca.
Or graciously accepting the requests for pledges, right?
Yes.
Helping out by making a donation.
Yeah, you can definitely see all our registered teams on there. You can go on and support them by giving them a pledge or donating to their team online. They're all still looking for that.
Yes. Okay. So get involved if you are interested. If you're still got a question mark, you're like, what is this? What does it look like? So let's do a little theater of the mind. The teams are 4 people strong. positioned at each corner of a rolling gurney bed from the hospital, and then a sandbag to represent the patient on top, right?
Yes, and they are racing as fast as they can down the racetrack to see who can be the fastest team to win the Golden Bedpan Trophy.
And out at the Sny Point Park again this year?
Yes.
The usual location? Cool. Open up for people to get registered. Where can they go to find the information and to register themselves?
Yeah, they can go to our give2nlhf.ca website. That's where they can get all the information on what the bed races are, how to donate or sponsor a team, how to register a team, or how to volunteer and get involved.
How does the money get spent? It stays in the community, right?
Yeah, so all the money raised from any of our signature events here in town just stays here and supports local healthcare initiatives.
24th of September is the next hospital bed races presented by Raymond James. They've been with it from the beginning, sponsoring.
Yes, they have, and they're back again looking to win.
Thank you so much, Stephanie and Lorna, for coming in to tell us everything.
Wonderful. We'll see you at the races.
Yeah.
Friday.
Obviously, biggest news in the world yesterday was the death of Queen Elizabeth II, R.I.P. Her passing obviously means a lot of different things to a lot of different people around the world, 1,000%. But everyone is watching, that's for sure. And most, I think, are wondering, what now? Some things will take some time. Some things will absolutely take a long amount of time. Like, take the money, for instance. Yeah, it's going to change. We'll talk about that a little bit later on in the show, a little bit more in detail. But some stuff was instant, no time at all. Like, it's the court of the king's bench already. And the song is God Save the King once again, you know? But there will be the royal funeral in the coming days, as well as the official coronation ceremony for Charles, though he is now already the king and acting as it. But, you know, the official, which is what I wanted to look up for Queen Elizabeth. And it was a time trip and a mind trip watching Queen Elizabeth II's coronation, the first and only one ever televised, by the way, back in 1953 when she was just 25 years old. It is a mind job for sure, and a lot of stuffy pomp and circumstance going on. Super Earth discovered. What? 40% larger than Earth. Orbits its sun in 8.5 days. Okay, it's a quick year. We're all going to be really old living on that planet. But yeah, there's a lot of these discoveries. We know about some 1,600 super Earth type planets. You know, it doesn't mean we're going to make it there, but it's a possibility, and it's interesting to think about for sure. They've found so many of these, and then even beyond that, so many other exoplanets that may be able to hold life, to host and foster life. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I mean, the future might be absolutely weird, but for now, I think that this is still just kind of weird. Finding planets that maybe we might be able to live on, and one that's 40% larger than Earth. I do like it that they're calling them super Earths, though. It's such a human thing to do, and from my generation as well. Following the convention, we discover super Earths, but then what happens a couple hundred years after that? Maybe we discover Earth 64, and Earth Cube is when things will really start getting weird.
You're listening to the Steve Reeve Podcast from 100.5 Cruise FM.
Jack White is in the news. And not because of Jack White, exactly. It's kind of convoluted. Let me explain. DC Comics have got a new continuation of the Flashpoint Paradox story where there is a different Joker in a different universe, blah, blah, blah. But they've revealed that the Joker's real name in the base universe might just be Jack Oswald White. Cut the middle name out there, Jack White. Who does that make you think of? White Stripes guy, right? Well, Jack White has responded, saying that there are echoes and flows and things that happen in the universe that are maybe meaningful or maybe meaningless. But this is one of those moments, because as he was putting together artwork for the album Fear of the Dawn for last year, he actually got in touch with an artist at DC Comics, Mikkel Janin, who does a lot of great illustrations of the Joker, asking him to do a portrait of Jack White, real world Jack White, blue hair and everything, in the style of that Joker. Not like as the Joker, but just in the visual style of that artwork. And that piece is on the internet, looks fantastic, and now Jack White's going, hey, wait a minute. And no, DC is not saying that they have named this character for Jack White of the real world or anything like that. Coincidence. It's a very, very simple name. But nonetheless, Jack White, real world, thrilled about the news. Joining me here in the studio is a couple of people representing the big brothers and big sisters of Wood Buffalo. Time for the SMS Equipment Wine Auction coming up. Jen, Community Engagement and Events Coordinator, and Vanessa, Executive Director. How are you guys doing?
Hi, Steve. We're great. We're very happy to be here today.
This one takes a whole village to put together, right? I mean, a title sponsor, SMS Equipment, once again, they have been helping out in a big way, but people might not be aware of what this event is all about. The SMS Equipment Wine Auction. What is it about?
Yeah, so SMS Equipment has been a longtime supporter of this event. The wine auction is an annual event every year that is extremely important to the fundraising for Big Brothers Big Sisters. What the event looks like is every September we host this event. We bring in some fantastic wines, spirits, cocktails for people to come, try, taste, and enjoy in a wonderful, inclusive environment with great entertainment, different activities throughout the room, and a really fun night that raises funds for youth mentorship in our community.
There's a lot of variety, of course, that's going to be available there, and some stuff that has been curated from like around the world throughout the course of the year leading up to the event that you might not ever have a chance to get access to again, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, we work with Caitlin with Outpost YMM Events to curate some of those incredible wines. She's been working so hard behind the scenes, traveling all throughout the provinces, working with different stores in Edmonton and Calgary to bring in some special wines to try at this year's event.
For those who might not partake in drinking, there are absolutely other options as well, right? Like, it's inclusive for everybody. Don't just think you have to be a wine snob to enjoy this event, right?
Exactly. You want to come and enjoy the event. If you enjoy some really good wines and you're a regular wine drinker and you want to try something very different, this event's for you. However, if you don't like wine at all, there will be mocktails. There'll be specialty drinks that have no alcohol in them. We want to make sure that, although it's called the SMS Equipment Wine Auction, it is an event that all attendees will enjoy.
Yeah, and I did hear a whisper, a little bit of information that man who makes a party all that much more entertaining, all that much more enjoyable. Cocktails by Boots. Dave Boots is going to be in attendance, yeah?
Yes, those who know Dave and his incredible talents making cocktails. Dave is also our auctioneer at this year's event, so he's going to make it very, very fun. This year we have the Lisa Hardigan Cocktail Bar.
Now, a big question, of course, any fundraiser, first thing people are going to ask, or at least at some point, how does the money get spent? So, Jen, where does the money go? Obviously, staying in the community.
Of course. So, Big Brothers Big Sisters serves children and youth ages 6 to 18 who are in need of additional developmental relationships. Our reach include Fort Chipewyan, John VA, Conklin, and Anzac. So, the nice thing is all of the money that we raise here goes to the young people of our community. It stays here.
One thing that people might not be aware of is that you offer free programming.
That's right. All of our programming is free, completely free of charge. We offer one-to-one programming, group programming, and we also work within our schools to offer programs.
So tickets are on sale still, yes?
That's correct. Our tickets are available at FortMcMurrayWineAuction.ca. They're also available on Eventbrite. Of course, we do have the tasting room tickets that are very limited.
You gotta be there. Yes.
And as you're saying, it's a little bit of a different and evolved experience from previous years, and that means the entertainment's a little different too.
Yeah, so the entertainment looks a little different. We don't want to give too much away because we still want the wow factor as people walk in. But attendees are going to see something that they've never seen before at an SMS Equipment Wine Auction. So we're super excited about it.
Yes.
Oh, come on. You're dangling the bait there. Oh, I love it though. Tickets are on sale. Act fast because the event is coming up pretty quick, and you want to make sure you get in there. Maybe even snapping up one of those final tasting room tickets, the exclusive experiences. So thank you guys so much, Jen and Vanessa, for coming in to tell us all about it. It's going to be a great event.
Thanks for having us.
Transmission over. Want more Steve? New podcast episodes happen every Friday, or just tune into the Steve Reeve Show. Weekday mornings starting at 5:30 a.m. on 100.5 Cruise FM.